Somewhere between spirit and skin. Between Sunday mornings and Monday messes. Between whispered prayers and loud thoughts. There's a couch. And on that couch sits truth. Honest, unfiltered, sacred, and simple. Welcome to On the Couch with PL, where we talk real life, real faith, and everything in between.
Tuning in tonight. Thank you for tuning in with PL On the Couch with PL. This is where you need to be tonight. Listen. This is where we talk, real faith, and everything in between. Y'all listen, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and get you something to drink. Get comfy because, listen, we have a dynamic guest here tonight all the way from Amory, Mississippi. Yeah, she's in the house tonight. Shout out to Michelle, my girl down there in Raymond, Mississippi, for introducing us. But tonight is going to be a dynamic night. The episode tonight is knocked down, but not knocked out. Okay? Listen, we might wibble and we walk, but we ain't falling down. So tonight I have none other than my girl Charnay with us tonight. And I'm gonna leave room for her to introduce herself and she gonna take the floor from there. I'm ready for this ride. Y'all ready for this ride? My girl Charnay. Hey Charnay.
Hey, Miss Allen.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, you're welcome.
Accepting our invitation. She is just as beautiful in person as she was on the pictures.
And so
and everything. Just glamorous. Good to be in the presence with some dynamic people that loves the Lord.
Yes.
And I believe she's an elder.
Yes.
So we're going to give reverence to that.
Yes,
we give
ma'am.
reverence to what reverence is due.
Thank you.
So Charnay.
Yes, ma'am.
We want you to take us back and bring us forward. The floor is yours, girl.
Okay. Well, I am a native of Amory, Mississippi. And I lost my mom at a young age. I was 9 years old, raised in a two-parent household. And my mom and dad, before she passed away, they got a divorce. So it was just me, my mom, and my sister. Well, my mom died of lupus. And so I had my grandparents to raise me and my sister, my aunts and uncles. And shout out to my auntie, my uncles. But they raised me and they raised my sister. And so as I navigated through life, I was in church. My Aunt Rhonda and my Uncle George, they kept me in church, kept me grounded through prayer, everything. They was just always there for me. So as life, I grew older. I went to college. And when I went to college, I went to EMCC. And then I went to Alcorn.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Shout out to Alcorn Praise. So, I got married, my very first marriage. I was really young. But I wanted to do things right. But that marriage was not right. So as life, I grew older. I became a minister. When I became a minister, I just knew God. I knew what He could do for me. But there was some things that I kind of struggled with, and that was, the passing of my mom. And I was 9 years old, and I didn't really get over that. I just kind of pushed forward. And I really didn't know how my emotions were. I didn't really know what I could do, how I could do, and things like that. So, just fast forward on, and I kind of dealt with that, daddy issues. I was there, but my uncles were there, and they were there to be there to support me. My granddad was, my Uncle George. They was just always there, so I always had a father figure. But that it's just that saying to say that you kind of marry your dad. And I did the first time. I married my dad. He was just like him. But, I went on and I got a divorce and I moved back home with my grandparents. So I was just doing the everyday life, going out with my friends, going to church, got it all figured out, being a youth pastor, just doing everything that I wanted to do. Well, Miss Ellis, I met this guy.
Uh-huh.
And when I met this guy, my granddad, I was actually at work. And my granddad called me. He said, "Hey, I'm going to buy me a new car." I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to buy me a new truck." I said, "Okay." He said, but I had the spare key. Well, when I got off work, he said, "Drop the spare key off at this car dealership."
Okay.
I said, "Okay, I can do that." Well, I dropped the key off at the car dealership, and it was this guy that came out. And he said, "Hey, can I take you out tonight?" I said, "Yeah." Just, not doing anything, just going out on a friendly date. Miss Ellis, I dealt with this guy for about 2.5 years, on and off, just narcissistic ways.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
just kind of dealt with it. And in the back of my mind, like, if you came to a marriage, will you deal with this or would you not deal with it? So I'm saying, okay, all right, well, he made good money. Those car salesmen make a lot of money.
They do. They do.
And so I said, okay, well, he makes a lot of money. He buys me nice things. So I just got it. I think I got it all together. I think I can work through the kinks. We think we can figure it out.
We can figure it out.
So one day I was in church and my aunt wrote me this letter, Rhonda, Bishop Rhonda. She wrote me this letter. She said, "Hey," she said, "God's going to bless you with somebody. He's going to be good to you." She said, "Just wait on it." I said, "Okay, all right." I'm thinking, this is my guy. I'm rejoicing. I done got my shout on. I done did everything. Well, one gloomy day, I was in my car just riding and went to Kroger gas station and my car quit. So I called him. "Hey, I'm down here at Kroger and my car is." He said, "Well, it's Saturday. I can't leave the dealership. I'm trying to make deals." I was like, "Okay." So I called my Aunt Rhonda to my rescue always. She said, "Okay, I'll be right there." Well, she came and we waited for the tow truck to come and they towed my car to the dealership where he worked.
Okay.
And that was Toyota. Okay, well, he says, he said, "I'll drive your car when it gets fixed and you just drive my truck."
Okay.
I said, "Okay. All right, this is going good. This is going great. Everything is working out." We want the average woman wants her man
Absolutely.
to drive her car,
Absolutely,
and she
sure.
wants to drive
Absolutely.
his car. Okay. So I said, "Okay, all right, that'll work fine for me." So there's just something just like bulb just clicked on, saying, something is just not right. It's just a good feeling. I have a spirit of discernment, so I know when things are not right. Well, I got in the car. He had these calls. You had a car phone, so he had these calls on the phone, on the car phone, and it was this lady. So I said, "Jot down the number." So I called her back. I said, "Who is this?" She said, "Oh," she told me her name. I said, "Okay." So when I took his car back, I said, "Well, you already got something going on. Just keep it that way. I'm just gonna move on." That day, it was around roughly about 4 o'clock. I'm talking to my aunt. I normally talk to her every single day, 5, 6 times, 7 times a day. We're always on the phone. We call each other. She called me on her lunch. That's just what we do. That's my aunt. She's like my mom. That was my mom's sister.
Absolutely.
So he goes to his home and I go there. And so he had this key. So he left his name tag and his key in my car. So I said, "Well, meet me at your house and I'll give your key back." So he said, "Okay." So Miss Alice, he took my key. He took my keys. He took my purse. He took my phone. He took everything from me. Left my car in the middle of the road.
Oh, no.
Took me by I had like a little suit, like a little sit on. Took me by. He said, "Oh, you just come on in the house and we'll talk. I'll give you your things back when we get done talking." I said, "Okay." Miss Ellis, he beat me.
No.
Yes, all night long
Oh no.
for something so small to turn into something so big.
Wow.
And that night, all I can remember is asking God, God, if you get me out of this, I won't ever be back in this. I just kept asking God that. And I told him, I said, I could hear my phone ringing. And he would pick it up. Oh, that's your aunt. Oh, that's your grandmother. You know, I'm normally, they're not used to missing me like this. Like if I miss their call, they're texting me or I'll call them back in an allotted time.
Right.
All that night, Miss Alice, he beat me.
Oh my God.
He tormented me. He spit on me.
Oh my God.
He drugged me. I'm just it was just the worst feeling and the worst traumatic experience that I had to ever endure. You know, growing up, I had saw my mom, you know, and my dad beat my dad, you know, actually abused my mom, but she got out.
Right.
You know, and as a little girl, I would always say I would never, ever, ever go through that. But that particular night, I just kept thinking, like, Lord, if you just please get me out of this, you know, I'll never, ever be back. Well, the next morning, the sun was coming up. And I looked, I said, Lord, I said, please just release me. I told him, I said, listen, said my grandma, uncle got to preach today at 2 churches. We got church at our church. We got to go to another church. I said, I need to go. Oh, no, you're not going anywhere. I took a deep breath. I said, yeah, I'm going. I'm going because my faith, it was going to get me out of it. But at that particular time, it was a fight, you know. And my aunt always say, God has created a storm to bless you. So I said, yeah, so I'm going to get out. And so I told him, I said, well, if you have somebody else, just let me go. Just let me be free. So he said, no. He said, well, I don't have anybody else. Let's just call her. He gave me my phone. Got the phone. And when I got the phone, he told me the number. So I already knew the number because I seen the number.
Right.
So got the number. So I said, hello. I said, hey, this is Charnay. I said, good morning. I said, I was just, who are you? I said, well, I'm his girlfriend. She said, no, that's not what I heard. I said, okay. By the time I had one hand in my phone ending the call, he slapped me to the floor. I had braids that were like knotless braids, not the box braids, but they were all the way down my back. I'm telling you, he drugged me by my braids from room to room. And all I could see, you know, in the floor, I would look up into his eyes. It was just like red. It was just like the devil. It was so demonic. And I kept screaming like, Lord, please help me. He said, there's no need to call on the Lord now. And so he got to the end of the hallway. It was a long hallway. It was like room to room. And he got to the end of the hallway. He just let me go. I got up and I ran in the bathroom. My braces were embedded. It was like my lip was embedded into my braces. And blood was just running down my face. Because he had slapped me. I know that he slapped me more than 60 times. It was about the twos. Front with hand, back with hand, front with hand, back with hand. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Lord.
So what triggered him was the fact that you knew about this other lady.
Yes.
So that triggered him into this rage.
Yes. So When I got to the end of the hallway, I got up and ran in the bathroom. I saw that I couldn't get my lip. It was like under. My lip was under my teeth, under my braces. It was embedded. It was hooked, and I was trying to move it, like motion.
Yes.
And it was just like blood just running down my face. I'm like, oh my God, Lord. And so, and I'm calling on the name of Lord. I'm just not exaggerating. I'm saying, like, Lord, you got to
Absolutely.
get me out of this. So we go to the back. So he is standing outside, and I go to the rail. And so I say, help, help, somebody help me. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, like maybe 5:50. But at this particular time, it's daylight savings, so it's light outside. So I'm screaming, help, help, somebody help me. I was holding on to the rails. It was 3 steps. I said, somebody help me, help me. No one came. He had his phone. He was on the phone with the girl the whole entire time. Yes. So he was telling her, oh, I'm about to call the police. She's doing this. She's done that. Not even mentioning that what you done to me for me to get here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
taking all my stuff,
Right.
trying to put my mind in a place that we're going to talk about
Right.
this. So I'm like, okay, well, he was on the phone and he had the phone down in his hand. I hit the phone and he pushed me back on the step, pushed me back. And I was holding the rails and I was screaming, help, help, somebody help me. He was pushing me, just pushing me, kept pushing me back, but I never moved. I was holding the rails. He reached down and he bit my arm, left bite mark.
Oh my God.
I started screaming and just started jumping up and down. And by this time, he picked the phone. His phone had fell. And he picked the phone up. And when he picked the phone up, he was trying to, because the phone had broke. And he was trying to look to see what was going on with his phone. And something said, Sharnae, run. So all I could see was a door that was, it was a kitchen, and when I got back off the step, it was a kitchen, and then it was a living room, but it was a straight way to the door. And all I could think about was him coming behind me, but it was like, run. So one of the church members that goes to my church, but she was like affiliated with my church, it's like a sister church.
Okay.
She lived down the street. So I'm like, if I could just get to her house, you know, I know I'll be safe. So I ran down the steps. He had the steps. It was like 3 steps. So I ran out of the driveway and I went to the first house, knocked on the door. I don't have any clothes on. It's just me and my braids. That's it. So I'm knocking at this lady's door. I'm a black girl with nothing on but braids, and I'm just knocking. Boom, boom, boom.
And bleeding.
She didn't bleeding.
Yes.
She didn't answer. So I said, okay. So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, well, which way should I go now? Because at this point, he's probably running through the house looking for me, but I'm not there. So I said, something just said, stay there. Okay, well, I hit on her door again. She didn't answer. Like, okay. So I rung the doorbell. She didn't answer. I hit the ring, and this little dun dun dun. And as soon as I hit that ring, she opened the door. And her eyes were so big, she started shaking. It was like her phone was in her hand. She was just shaking. I said, ma'am, can I please call my aunt? Not the police. I'm talking about call my auntie right now. 'Cause I got to talk. I know she's going to come to my rescue. So I'm like, I said, I need to call her. She said, no, ma'am, I need to call the police. I said, well, ma'am, you can do whatever you want to do after this. I said, but let me just call my aunt, because I knew that she had been looking for me all night. And it was not me to not answer the phone, and you haven't talked to me since 5 that day, and this is 5 the next morning.
Oh, absolutely.
So I said, let me call my aunt. I call my aunt. She normally answers the phone, but she doesn't answer on the first ring. She answered the phone. I said, hello. I said, hey, I'm here. This place, come now. She came. Well, they called the police. Not even 2 seconds. I said, he came out the driveway. Oh, she's dead. She's dead. She's a liar. Now, mind you, my car is still sitting in the middle of the street, not on the side, in the middle of the street. In the middle. So I'm like, okay. Well, he's saying all this stuff. So the police came when they came, and so my aunt had pulled up, and so the police was looking at me in the state that I was in. The lady gave me like a quilt, and I wrapped the quilt around me, and the police. But you know how that flight, freeze, and fight mode. I was in the freeze mode, and so he was talking to me, but I couldn't talk back. So my aunt just immediately started praying. And so when she started praying, I started talking. And so I started telling him, you know, everything, like I'm telling you, like everything that was going on and everything that had went on. And so he was out on the street. And so he was in the front of the lady's house. Well, he was telling her all this he was just saying all this old narcissistic stuff, like it was my fault.
Yeah.
So he ended up going to jail.
Okay.
Well, the police was like, okay, we're going to call an ambulance for you, but let's go and find her clothes. Okay. Well, we went, the officer went, it was two officers that came. The other officer went to the house. He said, her clothes are nowhere. We can't find them. So I said, okay, I said, well, I don't know where they are because he took them from me. He took my purse. He took everything. So I'm saying, I mean, I don't know. So he said, well, I'll go back again. Went back again. Then he came back and got me. He just so happened to go outside and look around the house. He had thrown my things on the wood in the woods beside his house.
Oh wow.
So Miss Alice, his every intent was to kill me. Not to just beat me up and leave me there. You were about to kill me.
Literally. Yes.
Yes. So we left, went to the hospital. Around this time, it's about 7:00. He's calling me from jail,
No.
leaving me voicemail. So I'm like, you know, it's nothing I can do today because today it's Sunday.
Right.
I'm beat up, I'm bruised, I'm broken, I'm beat down. Like I'm literally down for the count. Like I don't have nothing
physically
left
and mentally.
Yes.
Yes.
It's saying like, Lord, you know, I thank you for giving me a way of escape, but I want this to end right now.
Absolutely.
So my aunt texted me. She said, you know, we're gonna go through this with you. She said, but don't rush the process. I said, okay. Every day, it was something. We went to court. I didn't even have to press charges because of the state that I was in. So the law enforcement pressed charges. However, I had to press charges on him to get a restraining order.
Absolutely.
Because you were calling me from jail.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying like, Lord, please, like, just I want relief. And so he stopped calling me. Well, after this, his mom started calling me. Drop the charges. I'm like, no, I'm not dropping charges.
Right.
So we go to the first court. He's found guilty. I got the restraining order. The second court we go to, he's found guilty. This is in August. I'm like, okay, a new leaf is
Yes.
over.
Yes.
Like we're ending this. It's relief. Knocked down, but not knocked out. So I'm starting my new job. I'm working. One day, I get this call. I'm standing in the front of the in the middle of the floor. Hey, just got to work. I get this call, and the number just kept calling me. I was like, I don't know who this is. I'm not going to answer. So, I called the number back like at 7:00 at night. They said, hello, this is the officer from the police department. He's going to be released today.
Oh no.
I said, huh?
Oh no.
So here I am calling my T-Rhonda, calling my
Absolutely.
again.
Absolutely.
I'm saying like, T, you got like, I'm in hiding right now.
Absolutely.
Well, I stay in hiding and all this. I change cars. I mean, it's just a whole number of things. So once I got done with that, one day I go to work, and when I go to work, he's fine. He found my job.
Oh
So when he found my job, he called trying to. I'm just like, this is just so crazy. So I had to go and press charges on him again. But one day I walked to the mailbox, go home for lunch, and I get a letter saying that you have been charged with stalking and harassment.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Oh my God!
So I said, you know, at this point, I just go to the wall. My back was against the wall, literally. I fell to the floor. I was just screaming and boo-hooing, crying, because I'm just like, you know, this has, you know, I've done everything. It's got to be a point that this stops. So I go, I leave. It's pouring down, raining. I go to the courthouse. I talked to the judge, and I said, well, this is the same person that abused me.
Right.
He was guilty in this court.
Right.
He gets out and he said, well, you know, this is just what they normally do. So I'm saying, okay, well, I got to fight. I said, so okay. So I go retain an attorney. We go through this part. Well, he gets to court and he's like, oh, it's no evidence to nothing, because I haven't even seen this boy. I haven't talked to him. I haven't done anything. Right. And so I'm just saying, at this particular time in my life, you know, you can bag a person into a wall so many times, but when they bite back, that's going to be, you know, and I didn't bite back physically.
Right. I got you.
I bit back with prayer.
Come on.
And fasting.
Come on.
On my knees.
Absolutely.
On that altar.
Okay.
And I'm saying, Lord, you got to turn this situation around.
Absolutely.
And so I was saying, knocked down, but not knocked out. I was knocked down, people, by my friends, people who just didn't believe that this was actually, because when I was actually going with him, you know, we were actually dating and stuff like that, it was red flag. But my friends
was about to ask that question.
Yes,
red flags
it was red flag. It was tons of red flags. But I was just like, you know, he knows that I got a brother. He know I got family. So you're not really going to do anything to me. So I thought.
Right.
But that didn't matter. You know, it didn't matter to him, but it mattered to me. So I thought. And so I just kept going on. And I was thinking, like, you know, my family even got to the point where, like, well, we just don't want him around.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you're losing relationships because you want this person and you think that it's going to work out, and you try to build this person up to make them think that, okay, well, yeah, he's crazy, but it's gonna be okay. But y'all just gonna have to accept him or don't accept me at all. You know.
Gotcha.
And so that's where I.
About what age were you then?
I'm 33 now, so I had to be like 29. Yes, okay. 29 going into 30 here. And so I was just, I mean, it was just every time, you know, mentally. That's the thing that I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I was struggling with this mentally in my mind, and I really couldn't get over. So at this point, I'm just like, well, you know, my family, I'm back and good with my family, which I wasn't never out.
Right.
But, you know, your family always want what's best for you.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes when they say that, we don't understand it.
No,
no. We just want what we want.
Absolutely.
We love who we want.
Absolutely.
We go through what we want to go through. And then so it's our family that always has to pick us up. So my Aunt Rhonda was just like, yeah, you know, but no.
Right.
You know, but I'm just like, see, Rhonda, but is she gonna look at? She gonna see the good in everybody. She the bishop,
right?
But my uncle, he was just like, you know, nah. So they gonna always see the good in people.
Absolutely.
You know, and so that's what I have been taught to do. But in this situation, you know, it could have ruined my life.
Absolutely.
You know, destroyed
Literally.
me.
Yes.
And so after then, I'm just like, nah, I'm done with relationships. I'm just done. You know, we just gonna take a break from everything. We gonna love on each other. We gonna they gonna build me back up with the word, with prayer. So I met this guy.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, I was telling my family, they was like, no, 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 we ain't finna go through this.
Like,
No,
now, let's chill
no.
out.
And so I had already knew him, and we had already been in the same rooms in the same places together. However, we just never really connected.
Right.
And so one day I was having a raffle for my church, a $5 raffle, and he was on there. He was on there. He was coming, and then he was saying, next time y'all do the raffle, you know, he put in my inbox, next time y'all do the raffle, you tell me, and I'll buy something from you. I'm like, okay. So he was just like, well, you know, one day let's go out to lunch. Well, we went out, and one thing led to another. He my husband now. He is my husband now. But I'm going to tell you something. God has a great way of mending us back together.
Absolutely.
Because God knew that I needed my husband. And so sometimes my bishop says it all the time, God will create a storm to bless you. That was a major storm.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
talking about a tornado.
Yes.
I'm talking about a hurricane from Florida to Mississippi.
Right.
It was horrible.
Right.
But that storm was created to bless me. And when God put the court day ended August the 30th. We stayed in court 8 hours. Wow. I'm from sun up to sundown. It was 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. when we got out of court.
Wow.
I'm just thinking like, Lord, you know what? This is August 30th, September, October came, boom. There's this, you know, Patrick. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm telling my family, they're like, nah, we just gonna hold back on that. You know, we ain't gonna do that. We don't want nobody around you.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's because your family loves
They
you.
love you, and they don't want to see you hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just began telling him, you know, things that had happened, you know, things happen because in all things, you don't want someone who you truly see potential in a relationship or a marriage or anything like that to find out through someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So be honest
That's
from first.
right.
And he has been, I was honest. He has been accepting to, you know, I go all over the world. I'm not, you know, I have went all over Mississippi, had people come to my church, telling my story. I talk to people all over the world, telling them the same story.
Absolutely.
And he's even in the room with me or we're in the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, that's your ministry.
Right. It is. Yes.
Yes. So I say knocked down, but not knocked out because I was knocked down below water. I'm not even. It was horrible. It was all the way down. And I'm saying losing friendships, losing relationship with my siblings, losing just the power in me, just to see the good in somebody who never saw the good in themselves. Because when you see the good in yourselves, then you don't do that to anybody.
absolutely.
Because guess what? You have a sister. You have a mom, you have a daughter, and if not, you may have that one day. And so, but not knocked out was the fact that I never got knocked out of the game. I felt like I was knocked out of the
Yes,
game.
yes.
And I was already surrendering myself like, I'm done with this. You know, but when God is on your side,
Absolutely.
he has the power
Absolutely.
to make you new again.
Absolutely.
He created me a clean heart to say, okay,
Uh-huh.
you know, I can forgive him for everything that he had done to me. But guess what? I don't have to go back to him.
Absolutely not.
I don't have to call him and say, you
That's
owe
right.
me an apology.
That's right.
He created me in a clean heart.
That's right.
And so guess what? I was blessed. After I left court that day, I said, you know what? I'm going to be done with this. I'm going to give this to God. And all while I was sitting in court for those 8 hours, you tried to sit in on that stand and manipulate me and torment me and just knock me down mentally because that's a lot. Court is
Yeah.
always a lot.
Right. It is.
You
It
know,
is.
and so just to do that, and I just said, Lord, you know what? When that clock struck 5 o'clock, and they gave us that verdict, and I said, you know, at this point, I forgive you.
I'm done with this.
Yes. So knocked down, but not knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
God has called his people to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
And even as a woman, you're held to a higher
Understand.
standard already.
Already.
So
Yeah.
you have to understand that when you are suffering with domestic violence, it is something that's always a red flag. It's up to you to if you want to see it or if you don't want to see it. But you have to speak up and speak out.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Absolutely.
I have talked to so many women that just don't know how to do it because people going to judge you.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting here right now. You
Absolutely.
think they ain't going to judge me?
Absolutely.
Oh, she
A
got a
total
husband.
opinion.
Yeah. Oh, she got a husband, but she's still talking about it. But we overcome by the words of our
Well,
testimony.
Come on. Come on.
That's what the
You
words
better
say.
speak on it.
So if God created that man just for me, he created Patrick just for me.
Amen.
And God knew I needed him in that moment. He knew that because God
Absolutely.
knew I had already wrote relationships off. Check mark off on my list.
And I don't blame you.
Right. But God said, okay,
Yeah.
well, hey, I'm going to send you
Yeah.
somebody. And he was everything that God had designed him to be for me.
Absolutely.
I had to kiss a lot of frogs to get
I
here.
got you.
I had to. I had to. Yes, it was a lot.
Right.
You know,
Right.
this is my second marriage, but God didn't give up on me. Sometimes it don't work out in the first. The first one was just a trial run.
Uh-huh.
But then, guess what? I had a relationship, sticky relationship within the time.
Right.
But after that, God said, let's hit play. And you know, when you hit play, then God can turn. He can turn things around,
Absolutely.
and you can learn from those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
when I say that, I mean that so many women struggle because they just don't know how to speak out. My story is ugly. It's some things that I left out because it's some things that, you know, when if it's not, if it wasn't recorded, like I have a ministry said, that's called Ready Set Restore.
Uh-huh.
And it's no cameras.
Uh-huh.
It's no men there. It's just strictly women, and we're telling our stories. We're being open. We're being honest. We're being raw. So some stuff that I may have said, you know, at Ready Set Restore, I may have not said here,
Right,
Because
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's watching.
Absolutely.
You know?
They are.
And so here's the thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, women have to learn how to release. Release. I have, in my whole 33 years, like I started, I lost my mom at a young age. That's enough to be knocked out forever because a lot of people live there. They stay there.
Absolutely.
But it was only until 2020 when I realized that, hey, my mama's never coming back. I could have had a mental breakdown
Absolutely.
then, but I didn't.
But God.
But God.
But God.
You know, and so things are going to be in your way. It's going to be trauma. It's going to be tribulation. It's going to be storms. But you
Absolutely.
have to learn how to maneuver through.
Absolutely.
And as my bishop always say, take a lick and keep on ticking.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So I just want to say that it's hard being a woman. But when you're open and you're honest with yourself 1st, and then you're able to release that, to say,
Absolutely.
God, because guess what? Without God giving me a way of escape, I wasn't going to have no way of escape about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
No.
Let me ask you this. So during the courtship, this is for our now I'm gonna say to my audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. During the time of the courtship, could you tell the audience some of the red flags? So maybe somebody out there now that maybe it's going over their head, and maybe they see the red flags and saying, could you tell us some of the red flags that you encountered while in that courtship?
Yes. Oh. First, the narcissistic ways, doing things, saying things, and then turning it on me. Popping up, just showing up. If I'm at Walmart, you're there. How are you here? How do you know where I am? You know, that lets me know that you were watching me. Number 3, just coming to my job unexpectedly. Doing things like taking your phones, turning it over, you know, another red flag, Facebook. This is what he would do. He would add me as a friend on Facebook, delete me as a friend, but then go and add a dummy page and watch. Yeah. So what he would do is add me as a friend under his real name, but then create the same page but change the name, basically. And then create another page like in his own name, but then don't add me as a friend on that. But you already have access to me.
Wow.
Yes, I would go to church. He would show up at night when I would be at home sleeping. It was like, you know, he would knock on my window. Oh, it was just horrible. And I'm thinking like these are not normal things, but it's okay because if you're with your friends, there's plenty of times I was with my friends, just out like if we go out to eat Longhorn or something, and he just shows up, and I'm like, well, you never knew I was here, but how did you know? It was a lot of red flags, and then like lying, cursing, like hysterically. He would always put the blame on me. Everything. If he went out and got the wrong gas and his car was putting, it was me. I was the reason why his car was doing this.
Oh, wow.
If he went out and dropped his phone at Kroger and it cracked the screen, it was my fault. I could be all the way 30 miles or 30 minutes away or at work. It's my fault because I didn't answer the phone. Like excessively block calls. You know, you get mad, you have a conversation. You know, you never want to, never wanted to say like, hey, this is my fault. Never wanted to apologize. Nothing.
No accountability at all.
Nothing.
Wow. So someone that may want to know what a narcissistic is that a question? Is there a question on top? Okay. Somebody may want to know what a narcissistic traits are. Could you help us a little bit?
Ooh.
I know that some of the things there would probably freak me completely out. You just popping up.
Yes.
You know, out of the blue. And I guess as a young woman, you probably think, oh, he's just so in love with me. He just da-da-da.
That's what you, yeah, absolutely. I
He's
thought
just
that.
so in love. You know, he's so attentive.
Yes.
and not knowing this is abnormal.
Yes.
Very abnormal.
Yes.
Was that the only time he hit you?
Yes. The very first time too. That particular night when he done that, when it started like roughly around like 5 or something to that next day. So there was 5 to 5. So there was approximately 12 hours. But yes, that was the very first time because like I said, I had brothers. I got a brother. I got cousins, and they gonna come to my rescue.
Right.
So I'm just like, I got a lot of family
Right.
on both sides. So I'm like, oh,
I'm good.
yeah, you're not gonna mess with me. You're not gonna mess with me. But oh yes,
But had
he
he
did.
threatened you before, or
He
he
had
just
never threatened me. He was just always. He would always say, like, if I didn't answer the phone, this is a narcissistic trait. If I wouldn't answer the phone, he would say, oh, like if I'm in church, oh, you didn't answer your phone because you had another man at church. But it wasn't never me with another man. It was always you with another woman.
Right.
So that was number one. That's what he would always try to put somebody else off on me. And really it was him doing his own thing. And so, no, he had never hit me. But as far as just like getting into it, we would always have arguments. Yes. And one particular night, we had an argument, and this is what he would do. He would always come to Amory to get me, so that I couldn't have transportation to get back to home. So one particular night, we went to eat at the Mexican restaurant, and we got into this argument because it was just like had interactions with the waitress. I was just like, this is odd. Like, do you come here a lot? Like, I don't know. So I just want to know. So I'm like, in this case, then just go on.
Right.
So he was like, no, I just go here a lot. She works at another job, at Soap and Suds. And I was just like, okay. Well, when we got into the car, he slipped out. Well, you can walk home. You can do this. You can do that. I said, okay. So I got my phone. I called my friend. He said, no, I'm not going to let you out right here. I'm going to take you to my house, and you're going to walk from there because it was a longer way. I'm like, okay, because the Mexican restaurant was like in a very busy location. So somebody out there would have known me or something like that. So his home was kind of like ducked off. And so he was like, I'm just going to take you to my home. I said, okay, well, I can walk. Well, I got the phone. I called my friend. I called her. She's like, okay, I'm coming. I'll be there in 5 minutes. So I said, okay. Well, he put my stuff like, it was like my purse. He wouldn't give my purse back. He would always do that, like take my personal belongings. Like I had my phone, but I didn't have my purse. So he took my purse, and then so when he didn't think that she was coming, so when she pulled up, he placed the purse like at the end of the street, like as if I left it there. And I didn't leave it there, but then you went in the house, like everything, like you wasn't even a part of this, like it was just me. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's insane. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that is insane.
Yes.
I know there are. We raised up. We witnessed my mother to be abused, and that was something that I swore the same thing. I would never.
Yes.
No one is never going. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna lay them hands.
Yeah.
And that type of thing. I mean, but we saw her physically abused, mentally abused as well.
Yeah.
And so you do see that type of thing. And so it was like zero. We're not doing none of that, But, even witnessing such a thing, not to imagine that you went through it, but to witness it was traumatizing. So I can only imagine, did you end up getting counseling, or did you just continued in prayer and you was covered by prayer? How did you?
For my parents, it was like I just went through it, next door to the room, listening, actually seeing the abuser and stuff like that. Because my dad was, and I absolutely love him. I do. I love my father.
Absolutely.
But, growing up as a kid, you don't see that. You just see an argument, and you see that it transpires and goes another way. But once, my mom was sick and she struggled, she had lupus. And so she struggled with the point and the fact of us seeing that. So she got out. Mom was like, no. My mom was like, no. She was an incredible mom, great mother. She said, no, I'm not going to keep putting my kids through this. But she loved on us. She showed us all. Now, my sister, she kind of struggled with it, but I was like, my mom's right. I was to her hip all the time. So it was like some things that, some ways that I got more love. My sister, she was dealing with it in a different way.
Okay.
But me, I was always, my mom would hug me, kiss me, like everything's going to be okay. She would pray and stuff like that. But when it came down to me, I actually went because I could not sleep at night. I could not sleep. I was having these dreams of someone coming to attack. He was in jail.
Wow.
But I was having dreams of him attacking me to get slapped front with hand, back with hand. Like I stayed up this particular day. And I text my aunt and I was like, please pray for me because I want sleep. I want to get some kind of relief, and I couldn't. So I went to the doctor. They gave me some meds, but when I took the meds, it was kind of making me like drunk. So I went back. They gave me some more. So I got some relief. But as far as counseling,
Yes.
no. The ladies in my church, I went to church.
Them prayer warriors.
Baby, let me just tell you, I went to church one Sunday.
Yes.
And I was on the praise team singing, but next thing I know, I was hitting the floor. I was screaming. They was coming around me. They was surrounding me,
Yes.
praying for me. I'm saying every single lady that's on the intercession board, they were there. They were texting me, encouraging me. You know, because when you're going through this, you don't really have a lot of people. Because, you know, you got the church people. Some church people good, some church people not. But I can just speak for my people in my church. They were good to me. They were texting me, calling me, encouraging me, telling me like everything is gonna be okay. You know, so I didn't really have to do counseling, but I know that some people that I talk to and pray for, and I, you know, counsel. They have to really get a counselor because they don't know how to release.
Yes, it's traumatizing. I mean, if you've been physically beaten, or actually seen somebody be beaten, but definitely if you've been physically beaten. Because, you know, abuse comes in so many different forms. So many. I mean, the first thing is the mind, is the mental abuse and emotional abuse. And that by itself takes a toll, let alone somebody put their hands on you. You know? So, that's pretty traumatic.
I had to, and people ask me all the time, like, I'm a wig wearer. I have never been, I love sew-ins, I love braids, but I had these braids, Miss Alice. I had holes in my head where he had pulled. I had knotless braids. So not like the box braids. The knotless is actually your hair starts off. So it was holes in my head where I had to go to my stylist and she would treat my hair. My sister had hooked up with this African girl from Atlanta, and she was able to, you know, make some kind of hair growth oil to put in my head. But it was just like, I was done. I was done for. And so, like, everybody always say, you love wigs. I'm like, yeah, because I had to wear them. Now my hair has grown back.
Absolutely.
But it was my face, and I wish I could show the viewers pictures, but my face, my lips, I had bruises. I had where he had slapped me so many times. It was marks on my face. He bit me. My arm had turned black. And I was still, so I had a job. I had a state job. So I'm like, I got to go to work. So my boss told me, she said, no, you're not going to come here looking like that.
That's right.
And I text her and I showed her the pictures and everything. She was like, no, you're not going to come here looking like that.
That's right.
Because we have an image to uphold.
Absolutely.
And I said, well, thank you so much for that. She was so understanding.
That's good.
But I'm just saying, like, I was beat down, like you,
literally.
And I couldn't even. I'm just like, Lord, when I take these braids on my head, what I'm gonna wear? And so that's why my stylist, she was making me wigs, because I was not able to wear sew-ins because he pulled my hair out.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But God. Wow. Knocked down, but not knocked out. Yeah. What the enemy meant for bad.
God always meant it for you good. Every time.
He turned that thing around.
All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. That's what the word says. So although I thought that thing was not working together for me, his every intent was to take me out. But God had the final say. God said, okay, Al, I didn't save you from this right here. So guess what? All this other stuff, it's just time to move on, because it could have ended right there.
Absolutely.
Where my family didn't have no, you know, slapping me that many times. First of all, could have put me into a shock.
Absolutely.
Dragging me, beating me all night long for 12 hours straight. You know, my family would have never had any answers. And then if I did pass away, go to court, what could he say? He could get in there and not say anything.
Right.
But God left me on here. Left me on this earth.
Yes.
To share and tell my testimony.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell it everywhere I go. I don't care who get
As
mad.
you should. Who cares about the devil? Let him be
right.
mad.
That's right.
Ain't nobody mad but the devil.
That's
the
it.
devil. These type stories has to be told. These types of testimony has to be spoken. I've had another young lady that was on the couch some months ago who she thought was her Prince Charming, that did the same thing and abused her.
Wow.
SA'd her with objects and all night long, beat her all night long. So there are warning signs, and it is not just females, but you'd be surprised how many males are in this same position.
Yes.
But anyway, so we'll stick to this one. But she went through some of the same thing, breaking her phone and you know, that type of thing. And whenever you young ladies or young men, I would say, if someone is disrespecting you or trying to mentally control
Go.
you, emotionally control
Go.
you, run.
Yes.
Run.
Yes.
They popping up everywhere you go,
Yes.
and that's not normal. And
Yes.
that's not good.
It's not.
That's not a good sign.
And it's not a trend.
And it's not love.
No, it's
love
not.
doesn't look like that.
No.
Love does not put his hands on
No.
you or no. There's some girls that beat boys, but I mean, it just love does not hit.
That's right.
It does not punch.
That's right.
That's not love. That's not
right.
what love looks
Don't
like.
choke. Don't drag.
Right. Don't choke, drag,
Yes,
slap.
right. Yeah.
You know, none of that. None of the above. That's not love. And it's dysfunctional.
Yes.
And when you start to see these narcissistic traits of somebody, the first thing is control.
Yes.
The first thing is getting control.
Yeah.
First, they come in easy, like wine and dining and showing you a good
Yeah.
time and giving you all this attention and whatnot. But the next thing you know, they start to telling you what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Or some of them spaz out on you.
Yeah.
You know, you like out of nowhere, you be like, what the world? That is not love, young ladies and young men.
That's
That's
right.
not love.
That's right.
And I say young people because some older people going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw my mom do that. I remember us being in church when I was young, that my stepfather ready to drive his motorcycle through the church, you know.
Wow.
And my mom and we had to leave.
Yeah.
We had to literally leave the church. But it's just a lot of forms of narcissistic traits that men and women carry, which is sad. These people need deliverance. They need healing.
Yes.
They demonic.
Absolutely.
They need to be delivered and
Yes.
saved.
Yes.
You know, and so be careful about who you intertwining with
And connect with.
and connect with because use your discernment.
Yes.
And if someone say, don't just dismiss
Yeah.
your friend or your parent or your cousin or whomever
Yes.
close to you that's seeing these traits
Yeah.
and saying, "Nah, girl, that don't look right." Or,
Believe 'em.
Hey, guy, that don't look right. You know,
Yes.
or whatnot. That this is not healthy. Then run
Yes.
as fast as you can.
Yes. I agree.
Yes, I want you to minister to someone that is in the situation and need to come out, and then I want you to render a prayer.
Okay. For anyone that's in this situation of domestic violence, I would just ask for you to just go. You can walk away. It's nothing, and you can open up your mouth and say something. If you don't say something, it's no healing in that. It's no restoration in that. And if you open up your mouth and say something, someone is there to help you. You don't have to be afraid of what they're gonna do. You don't have to You don't have to be afraid. Oh, look at the enemy's trying to tie up my tongue.
The devil's
But
lie.
you don't have to be afraid to walk away, because guess what? It's someone there to protect you, and that's God. And when God has his hand on your life, there is no limit to what he can do. They can do all they want to do to you, but God can bring you out. And I just want to encourage you that you can come out, that you can walk away, and it's always somebody there that's standing there with outstretched hands, just like me. You may be in this storm right now, but God is creating this storm to bless you. He did the same thing for me. I have my Prince Charming now. He don't hit me. He don't bust my lip. He don't drag me. He don't degrade me. He doesn't do anything. He's not controlling. But you can be in that same situation if you just walk away. And I want you to bow your heads for a word of prayer. Father God, we thank you for this moment, God. We thank you for all the battle women, oh God, that's not able to speak up, oh God. Continue to open their minds and their hearts and their ears, oh God. Continues, Lord, to guide them wherever they go. Lord, protect them in your name, oh God. Lord, cover them right now in the mighty name of Jesus. Put a hedge of protection over them, oh God. Lord, go before them as they go in their homes, God, in their schools, oh God, and even on their jobs, oh God. Protect them, oh God. And every woman that's standing in need of this prayer, oh God, Lord, you just do it for them right now in the name of Jesus. God, we thank you for this moment, oh God. We thank you for Miss Alice, oh God. We thank you for this platform that somebody is going to be changed. They're going to have a renewed mind and a renewed spirit. And God, they're going to change their way of thinking. In your name we pray. All these things we ask. Amen. And thank God.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for coming, sitting on the couch with me, telling your tremendous testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
So many lives is being touched. So many
Yes.
lives are being changed. This is very impactful. And I want to say to my guests, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I see that just some people had a question or two. Somebody said to tell us what you can and cannot do. When people start to tell you what you can and cannot do, that is not love, that's control. And we just wanted to say thank you, and I want to see you again here on the couch.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometime soon, real soon.
Yes, ma'am.
And to all y'all that are going through any type of domestic situation, please seek help.
Yes.
Get out
Yes.
as fast as you can. It is not healthy to be in a dysfunctional
That's right.
situation, being male or female.
Yes.
It's not one-sided. But we're going to tune out in just a little bit. But I just want to say to those individuals that are struggling, you feel like you are bound, that your hands are tied, and you feel like you can't get out. I'm telling you today, you can get out. There's a way
Yes.
out.
Yes.
The Lord will make a way of escape for you.
Yes, He
there
will.
There are phone numbers. There are
Every
places you
time.
can go. It's too much going on
Yes.
in this world for you to be unhappy, untied with a narcissistic person,
Yes.
be male or female, that's running your life, telling you what you can do, what you can't do, where you can go, what you can't go, what you
Yes.
can't put on, what you can't put off, take that
Yes.
off, blah, blah, blah. You know, that is not love.
That's
people.
right.
That is not love. And if somebody don't trust you or you don't trust them, then it's not a relationship anyway.
That's right.
But anyway, that's a whole different podcast all by itself. But anyways, look for the narcissistic traits. Get
Red
out.
flags.
All the red flags.
Yes.
All the red flags.
Yes.
And we're praying with you and for you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to P on the Couch with PL. We'll be right back here Tuesday night with another dynamic guest. Thank y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Somewhere between spirit and skin. Between Sunday mornings and Monday messes. Between whispered prayers and loud thoughts. There's a couch. And on that couch sits truth. Honest, unfiltered, sacred, and simple. Welcome to On the Couch with PL, where we talk real.